Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to episode 120 of the ATL Falcons UK podcast. Aptly named by Mark, kicking ourselves out of contention. One of the many topics we will cover tonight. So very, very aptly named. I love that. We're going to review, of course, the agonising loss against the Patriots. Look forward to our games against the Colts next week, of which some of the boys are heading over to Berlin for it. Fraud watch, rookie watch, a whip around the league. You know the catch by now. So let's get us started nice and early. Liam, I'll give you the floor first. How are you feeling, dare I ask? End of comment.
Yeah, it's a tricky one because we kind of, I think like Mark said in the chat, it's kind of almost even more frustrating that it was close.
Yeah.
In a way, like obviously it was good that it was close because we were a bit more competitive than the week before, but at the same time, we still got the same results, so it kind of hurts a little bit more that we didn't get the win, especially when it was very clear that the opportunity was there for a win.
Very much so.
We just, couldn't execute at all, to be honest. In the big moments, it was one of them games where, when you look at the stats, you'd probably look at them and think, like, which team probably won, and maybe you'd probably say us, especially with defensive numbers.
Yeah.
But we didn't because of the moments when we needed to execute, we did not do it. And we're now in a bad position, to be honest. It's an uphill battle from here. The run game was pretty much non-existent. Again, just looked flat. Obviously, Penix performed well and a couple of others performed well on the offense, but ultimately we didn't put ourselves in a position to score points often enough.
Yeah.
And special teams obviously let us down in the end. So yeah, disappointed, frustrated. They're the two main words I'll probably use.
Is that the PG version of
yeah. That's not the words I was using after the loss, but yeah.
Beautiful. Mark, any advances on that, dare I ask?
No, I think Liam summed it up really. Again, for me, the offense just seems to be inconsistent, stuttering. Yeah. We talked at length last week about we're not utilizing the talent that we've got. Now London had a fantastic game. Who knew that throwing passes to one of the biggest, tallest wide receivers in NFL could possibly bring some success in red zone offense. I mean, listen, guys, I've said a lot about Zach Robinson, but it's almost as if he's starting to learn how the game of football is played. But on the other hand, you've got arguably the best running back in the NFL, and you let him run the ball 12 times. So, for me, I gave this name for the show because I can't really see a way back now. And the funniest thing was I was talking to a friend of mine who was like, who was also a Falcons fan, and I said, coaching staff needs to go, etc., etc.
Yeah.
And his response was, well, we'll be at least we'll have a good pick for a new coach. And I said, no, we won't. And he was like, oh no, we've managed to balls that up as well. So the one thing that I will say is this was a much more solid game from the defense. We put pressure on Drake May effectively. This was probably one of our highest sack games for quite some considerable amount of time.
Yeah.
Who would have guessed that LaCale London would crop up with 2 sacks? Certainly not me. But having Walker on the field is obviously a big thing. I wanted James Pierce Jr. to hit the ground running, but I also kind of feel really conflicted at the minute because well, if we're not using Bijan on the offense, that leads me to go, should we not be using PS more on the defense? But I do feel that out of our trio of coaches, that you could say Jeff Ulbricht's probably the one that's not doing himself many disservices at the moment. So yeah, I'm certainly frustrated. It after this game, it really doesn't feel like there is a way back now into playoff contention. Now, there's still the possibility that we go and win out. The Colts looked interestingly poor this week, and
Yeah.
also and there was one bit which I seen on social media which was fantastic, where it was like Daniel Jones's eyes were like, and it was like, this is the Daniel Jones we all know well. So yeah, I just still can't see it. I don't. I'm not confident now that the lack of confidence in his coaching staff is now not seeping into the locker room.
Yeah.
And I won't go over old ground, but this game would have been tied had it not been for the kicker that we said wasn't good enough weeks ago. I can almost swallow like not hitting a field goal, but extra points should be missed. It's like our footballers missing penalties. I just don't believe this should happen. If you can't score a
Yeah.
goal from 12 yards, then you shouldn't be on a football field. And I don't think that if you're a professional NFL level kicker that you should be missing extra points. So it's a comedy of errors on behalf of this coaching staff, or most of it thereof. And yeah, I guess I'm not as angry as last week because I do think it was better. I think Penix was better overall. His decision making was decent.
Yeah.
I know we're probably going to come on to the intentional grounding point later on, so I'll
Yeah.
hold back on that. But yeah, agree with Liam. Frustrated.
Yeah. Just on the back of your Ulbricht comments as well, Cal put a little poll out on Twitter last night, just out of curiosity to test the waters, saying who would you get rid of, and 35% said everyone, but 65% said everyone but not Ulbricht. So he's still got backers. Like, obviously our sample size is quite small compared to the full fan base, but that is not where the issues lie at the moment in time. Or there are issues, but it's nowhere near as prominent as what we're seeing on the offense at all. So it's hard to look past that, I think. Cal, would you like to circle around? Do you have anything to add?
I have nothing. I do have many things to add, but I'll start with my highlight from the weekend, which is about our rock star in the building, our Saturday night. I thought I'd start with something positive for this weekend, from this weekend. So me, Danny, and Liam watched our very own Mark playing out at his band in Manchester, and he played Newcastle Friday night. And just to say what a night it was, and I think that was a massive positive for our weekend. It was a great watching him, and congratulations on obviously all the success you've had so far.
I got you all lubed up on Saturday night just for the Falcons. Really just...
sorry, viewers. Just a little bit context there. After the show, we went and saw Mark and everything, and that boy was wet. And I don't mean like a little bit sweaty. I meant like post-shower with clothes on, wet. For all you people watching this at home,
I hope we don't get some sort of copyright strike on that. But yeah, cool.
all out emo stripping away our copyright homemade video. But no, Cal rightly just wanted to brighten the mood a little bit and say it's not all doom and gloom. Remember, guys, we do have lives outside of football, so enjoy the good times because we're not getting many of them from the Falcons at the moment in time. With that being said, we're going to go back into the Falcons, so I'll give you 2 minutes grace now, everyone. Let's start on the negatives because there was some positives to pull out of there. So I don't want this to be like a super, super flat show. There is something there in the stars, but let's start on the low side. So play calling, ladies and gents, clock management. Take your pick and jump ahead because there's so much to unpack.
Well, I just want to start with that clock management. That first time out we took, absolute joke. There's no other way to describe it. They had a penalty. We had more time to sort that play out, and we still had to take a time out with, I can't remember how much was on the clock, a couple of minutes, might have been 4 or 5. There's absolutely no excuse to do that. And I think we all know it's not the first time that's happened with time management and using pointless timeouts throughout this year, and I think last year as well. I think it's just completely unacceptable. It just seems, even though it might seem quite a small bit, but we would have had extra time in the end. I think it's like this every week now, or every other week. It's just another concern, another thing that they're making us not like the team, or not like the coaching staff, especially. So that's just one of the things. That's one of many, I think, but that's definitely one of the things that grinded me straight up yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, it's one of many calls that we've had issues with, and just on the back of the play calling issues, I do want to jump in on this bit a little bit. Have any of you seen the comments and the interviews around the apparent and alleged fake clap that the Patriots did, that nobody can find any video evidence of occurring on any of the plays, but specifically the one that everybody's saying it happened on? Yet we're running with the fact that Ryan Musial bolted early because he heard a clap that didn't occur, and apparently that was a game plan. Any thoughts on that? Because I was trying to watch all the videos that were going around and I couldn't see a clap anywhere unless somebody in the stand has a really loud clap.
It's just another excuse for me. That's
yeah.
That's all I'm going to say on it, because I could say a lot more, but it's just another excuse.
Yes, yeah, I completely agree. I watched an interesting clip with John Gruden, who is a complete helmet. Don't get me wrong, but his kind of football knowledge is quite interesting, and he sort of interviewed sort of like kind of these older quarterbacks who used to have this sort of like mad snap count and like something very specific. And then I'm thinking it was like Jackson Dart who was on, and he also did a clap.
Yeah.
He said, "Give me your count," and he went, "I just did it."
Now from playing the game, especially from an O-line point of view, there should be a I guess this should be part of the playbook, right? So like you should in theory have different snap counts to try and draw players offside, to try and like mix up things again, like kind of trying to cause offside jumps, just trying to confuse the defense, right? And bear in mind, I've played UK Sunday League level, and that was when our team was in Division 2. So I'm not going to lie, guys, standards aren't necessarily really high, but it's still a thing, right? Now, I think the thing that it screamed to me is that we are relying on one snap count, which is a clap. And from experience of wearing a helmet, which, you know, acoustics are not their strong point, guys, right? I'm not going to lie. Whether you've got a radio in your ear, because I know obviously NFL do. This was a mistake somewhere, right? And I would much prefer Not that I'm Raheem's biggest fan at all at the moment, but I would just much prefer they say, look, guys, we effed up, we made a mistake, and let that be that. But no, I'm the first one to dick on the Patriots for cheating, but I'm not having it. Raheem, you're just an excuse merchant. Go away and stop talking.
Yeah.
Just for all of your context, his presser is on as we speak. So if at any point I'm looking down, I'm just snapping the good, ironically snapping the good quotes to bring to you all later in the show. I'm just going to jump in the comments real quick, and then Liam, if you've got any gripes, then please bring them to the stage. Paul, as always, evening lads. So frustrating last night. Can only afford 2 losses for any chance of playoffs. So that is definitely gone. Just now want to see some progress with the rookies for the rest of the season. Any thoughts on playoffs? I know it's a little bit of a deviation away from where we are, but we've got 9 games left. You need 7 wins, realistically, to have 10 wins, to have a shout at a wild card spot. And even that wouldn't guarantee it. Does anyone think we can do that?
No.
No. I just...
Mark's silence is interesting.
Well, we can go and win out. I think there is a huge difference in the conversation that we are having. We have enough in that team, barring go and get a new kicker. And I still will not be convinced either way that there is not somebody better out there than Parker Romo. We can, yes. To answer your question, I think we can. The issue that I've got, that what I alluded to before, is that what I don't have confidence in is that the locker room has confidence in the game plan that the coaches we have to set out. I don't know how we can if we're going to give Bijan the ball 12 times.
Yeah, no, I agree.
That's
2 weeks running,
that's my question. Because if you're going to go in every game just wanting Penix to sling it, then the answer, quite frankly, is no. And I just, I'm a little bit befuddled. I take the point. Can we do it? Yes, I absolutely think we can do it. I think that there are enough winnable games left. I think none of us betted on the Panthers being as well coached as they are this season.
Mm-hmm.
That is a huge turn up for the books, which means it's an even bigger challenge to get to that milestone.
Yeah.
Because it's about this time where we all give up hope, boys, and go, oh, well, let's start looking at draft picks. Well, we ain't got one of them. So actually we have like there's part of me that almost goes, guys, like, there's nothing to lose now. Like tear up the playbook. Do like everything that you do this week in practice. Do something new.
Yeah.
And because what you're doing ain't working. It's not good enough.
Yeah.
So I'm conflicted by that question. Because not because I don't think we can do it, it's because I don't have the faith in the coaches to execute it.
Well, that ties in perfectly to the next comment from Ben. Again, thank you for watching, as always, mate. Coach Heem is just out of his depth, pretty much out of the playoff race with half a season left, and he's still saying we need to do better. That's your job. We have a problem on this show with catchphrases and cliche press conferences, and there seems to be a hell of a lot of them coming out of the Falcons organization at the moment in time.
I mean, well, listen. We all had a bit of a shouty. Well, I had a shouty rant, but we all had a shouty, sweary show last week, and that's your job. Must have been said 3 or 4 times when it comes to Raheem's quotes. And when you said earlier on, have you seen all the quotes from Raheem? No, because I don't want to negatively impact my blood pressure. So
tablets for that, mate. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, well, for sure. Yeah, but So yeah, I'm not interested. I'm not interested in the excuses anymore.
Yeah.
As the comment just said, do your job. And I actually think that the majority of those players that are on that pitch right now are doing their job. They're just not being helped by what they're being told to do.
Yeah, absolutely. Before I jump over to Liam for his comments, Paul says, if we make the playoffs, I will wear a Newcastle shirt. So that's for you, Mark. You can have that one for free. Remember that. Keep that in the bank.
Paul, after this weekend, I wouldn't go around making statements like that. I promise you.
Self-harm in the finest order.
Yes, indeed.
Right, Liam, go on. You pick your gripe. Where are we sitting for you?
I mean, it's just a lot of it's down to our mouse. We've got good players, so like we've got to kind of put it down to how they're being used and how we're being coached, and hearing just excuses every week is frustrated, and like just these little things that they're coming up with that why reasons why we lost and stuff. It's just not good to hear. The whole clapping thing. It is a thing. Like as if it's a thing that happens. Like
Yeah.
Because I know in college rules this year, the first year they've banned it now. So any defensive player that claps, it's an automatic 15-yard penalty in college this year. And I imagine it's still coming in the NFL probably very soon because it does actually happen. But I didn't see it happen on that play. So
yeah. Well, funny you say that because Raheem's comments just come out now, and he slightly amended his comments from yesterday where he claimed that it was intentional and it was all part of the plan. He said there might not have been intent, but that's certainly what happened, is the summary of his comments from tonight, just then. Whereas Mike Vrabel, Jesus.
Vrabel, Danny, Vrabel.
I know, stuttering like mad, said, certainly that wasn't anybody's intent and we've never coached that or talked about it. So if in this parallel universe it did happen, it's just players utilising their brains on the field at the time to try and get an advantage, which is absolutely fine as long as it's within the rule book. So
is that why we lost? Just that? Is that right?
That's the singular issue here.
We lost the game because of that. It feels like it's been made a massive point of.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's like it's another scapegoaty point, isn't it? Like it's not that big of a deal. Yeah. It was one play out of a 60-minute game where there was
right. But with all due respect, right, you took the penalty. You were on 2nd and 20. So convert one of the next 3 plays with your genius offensive playbook.
Yeah.
But you didn't. And then you punted it with the best part of 2 minutes to go. So all the Pats really need to do was get a few more yards for them to kneel the game out.
Yeah.
So and I said it in the group. Well, so it all comes down to 4th and whatever. And you said, and obviously you were watching it. I couldn't even bring myself to do that. No, they're punting. And it's like, well, then they don't moan that the game came down to that because it didn't. It didn't. You didn't have the Clemmies to go for it because maybe, Raheem, you didn't trust your OC either.
Yeah. Yeah. And I fear that this is where one of the problems is starting to fall now because he's been defending him and backing him so publicly in his press conferences and in public. But if you had complete faith, you wouldn't be so concerned about these 4th downs and even the 3rd downs. It took us 3 quarters to get a 3rd down conversion.
I think the thing is now, lads, and I mean, and obviously I'm going to continue to be critical of Zach Robinson, but because it's due. I said it at the time. You should have sacked him 2 games ago. Then you could go, okay, that for me is like, okay, I've made a mistake keeping a hold of this guy. I'm trying to rectify it to make sure that we're still in contention. And obviously, to our minds, we're not anymore. But the longer this goes on, the longer Zach Robinson will sign Raheem's P45.
Yeah.
And you live by the sword, you die by the sword. I appreciate that he's a guy who stands by his people, but guess what, Raheem? This will never have you in that place to take a head coaching role again. So
Yeah.
stand by your guys, but your guys won't get you another job.
No, they will not. I did a little bit of I saw some comments in one of our Falcons chats that's over on Twitter. Did a little bit of digging as well, just to clarify. And we spoke about Raheem yesterday coming out saying all these kind of like audacious comments in terms of like that gave the impression that he was a winner and that he'd been there and done it all. His record as a head coach is 32-52. So
Yeah.
so he's not a winner. He's not a winner by playoff achievements and things like that, but he's not even close to being a winner as per his wins and loss record. So it's
not as a head coach.
Well, sorry, as a coach, yeah.
As a head coach.
This says head coach, yeah.
Yeah, head coach. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think we've got to be really like stuff like this is important, right? Like you can not be a good head coach, but you can still be a good coach. Like
yes, yeah.
Like I think we just got to like the guy has coached good units of good teams.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like,
yeah.
So I think it's really easy at this point to go, oh, he's just awful. Just like and the guys, like Arthur Smith's a great example. Like, Steelers aren't doing too bad this season. Like you can be a good coach but not be a good head coach. Like there's loads of them that have done it, So I just think it's really important to not get too carried away in the anger because in that Rams setup, Raheem did a really, really good job.
Yeah.
And I'm the most critical of him right now.
I think that's one of the things though, isn't it? Taking that head coach role, you're putting responsibility onto other people, and that's very much a judge of your character and not just a judge of your football expertise. By all accounts, Raheem seems like a top bloke, like really focused on the players and loves them and pally and all of stuff like that. But sometimes you need that tenacity. And be like, you might be my mate, but you ain't doing your job right. So it's a cutthroat game, isn't it? It's a cutthroat sport.
It is, mate. It is.
One little comment to jump to, JK. It starts from the top. Nothing changes until Blank sells the team. He is so unserious about hiring the right guys. In my opinion, our season has been done since the Cardinals game. Carolina game, sorry. That was my bad. Yeah. I don't think Blank's ever going to sell. So I'm not even going to try and put that into the world because I don't even have that much of a problem with Arthur Blank personally. Like, I understand he's responsible for some of the coaching things, but he also hires people to do all of that work.
Dude's a gazillionaire.
Yeah.
Like, we said it last week, and I do, I do wonder how much people kind of understand like the hierarchy of a football team. Like, we all know that Rich Mackay is the one that makes the decisions. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like Arthur Blank just signs the checks, and I would be. I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to say Arthur Blank's at fault. He trusts the wrong people, but he also signs the checks. We don't have a team without Arthur Blank, and we probably wouldn't have after the last ownership. So again, I get we're angry guys, but like if Arthur Blank goes, we this might not be a podcast anymore.
The devil sometimes.
Yeah.
I think the next one to touch on, we did briefly, but that kicker scenario. So what we're doing, what's the game plan, what we saying? I've got some comments from Raheem's interview just then as well, but I'll let you boys loose first with what you do before I give you an insight.
I said this weeks ago. It's on Raheem and whoever. Like, that's the situation he brought into the season. He's dropped Koo after second game, was it first game?
Yeah, I think so.
So if you've dropped him after the second game, you didn't have faith in him going into the season. So that's 100% on Raheem for me. And Terry or whoever's like organising the players and getting the players in. But that's the first situation. You then go get Romo, he performs in game 1 and then he's pretty poor after it. I don't really blame Rome. Like he should get the extra point, but he's not a great kicker overall. That's why he's struggling to find teams basically. But the main thing is start of the season. It's on Raheem for me straight away.
Yeah,
I think a bitter irony as well is that Romo spent the off season with the Patriots, so so it's not a great look either. But go on, anyone else?
I think it's just a bad it's a bad situation that we put ourselves in at that point of the season. Like there was opportunities to do something in the off season. That's the way that we felt with our kicker situation, and then we put Q in anyway, and then we went and got another kicker after 2 games, and basically ignored some guys out there who are more tried and tested than Romo is. Like they're better kickers on paper than Romo is. They're more confident, and they were available. Some of them probably would have been more expensive, but I mean, a kicker realistically, unless you're right at the top end, they're not going to be that expensive to affect us massively. And people underrate the value that they bring, because these are games that they go out and win every single week. There's a game that's won or lost on a field goal.
If we think about it laterally, Liam, if we had, and Romo's not consistent enough. This is like that's his problem. Like he can hit field goals and he can hit extra points. He just can't hit them consistently, right? Yeah. So that's kind of point one. Second point is the whole young Wiku thing. He went to the Giants. He hasn't played a game for the Giants. Let's put that down to Koo regressed and we didn't get rid of him quick enough. It wasn't that we were making Koo bad, right? Liam's absolutely right. There were better options out there. It might have cost you an extra couple of million, but if you think that Bucks game and this game could have been wins, then actually we're sitting sort of 5 and whatever we're sitting now, 5-5 now, is it? Which
4 or 5.
Is it 4 and 5? Is it?
We're 3 and 5 at the moment.
3 and 5.
Yeah, 3 and 5. So 2 of those. So we would actually be sitting at 5 and 3.
Yeah.
If you'd went and spent a couple of extra million on a tried and tested, more consistent kicker. So that's the negligence there, right? That's the arrogance of this team. We don't need to go and spend extra money on a kicker. We don't need to. This one will be fine. Oh, but we'd be 5 and 3 if we had just a better one than what we've got.
Yeah.
Like that's the real life situation that we're looking at. We could be looking now at not a surefire, but a prospective playoff team rather than a team that's already adrift. That's the
it really is that simple, isn't it? It's like you said last week, Mark. Football is a simple sport. You can make it as complicated as you want, but ultimately, it's a very simple sport. Rough. We've got Andrew.
And a kicker's job in that sport is even simpler. Do you know what I mean? Like, he doesn't have to do a lot. You are called upon 7-8 times in a game, maybe, and all you've got to do is boot the ball through the post. 99 times over 100, you're not even going to get touched by some of these absolute behemoth blokes that are running towards you. So like, it's a simple game and it's a simple position. You've just got to find somebody who can do that simple stuff well.
Yeah, absolutely. And oh god, I clicked the wrong button. Andrew in the comments has said they might as well try Lenny Craig this kick this weekend for a local hero effect. It can't be any worse. I would not be against it. Like it can't.
Yeah, but why is he not playing? Like, I don't get why. Because he came out and said, "Oh, we're trying to." I don't know. Like
they wanted to transition him into the league, but I don't know what that means for a kicker. The
pressure,
maybe.
We don't need that. We need someone
Yeah.
now.
The only way to have the pressure is to put him on the field and let him kick. Like you can't emulate it anywhere else. So you can't.
Yeah,
Agreed. Agreed.
Doing 30 kicks every 2 days on the training pitch in front
It's
of
not going to do
just
anything.
rosters, no different than doing it in your back garden, is it? It's not.
He's got no experience, so obviously that's a big fact. Like he's literally got, he just hasn't got that experience. He's an international player and all that sort of stuff. So that's the only reason why I imagine they've not picked, like they didn't go with him. But at the same time, we didn't exactly pick a good option, did we? So it's
No.
Well, you'll all be ecstatic to know that Raheem has just said in his presser that the team has looked at multiple kickers throughout the season already, so they already have an idea of who they can bring in again for competition, and that they intend on doing so. However, he didn't definitively say whether Parker Romo will or will not remain as the kicker. They need to figure it out.
It's too late now. Isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, wait a couple more games, bring it in competition, and then let him take over when we're already out of the playoffs.
I don't have many. Yeah.
Like the stupidity is just astounding.
Colossal.
Like genuinely.
Yeah. It's a tough one to take. In fact, I think we should touch on Penix because this will be a nice transition from the negative to the positive side because it's very balanced dependent on your perception of how he played and how the team performed. So I've seen some really polarizing opinions in terms of some were saying he threw for 3 touchdowns in an offense that was not working at all and it was not being schemed correctly. But then you had other people saying, yeah, but look at the level of error that he did make, that he's detrimental to the game. So how are we all feeling on Penix? And I'm not going to contribute to this one too much. So I'm going to hold my hands up and say I'm Penix all in still. I've got no concerns. Like, he's a rookie. He's good. Well, sort of a rookie. He's in his rookie season. He's rookie starting season. Yeah. So he's going to make mistakes. And these mistakes are only being projected and made more prominent by the fact that we're not performing well. You can get away with making 2 or 3 mistakes a game, even if they're interceptions, as long as the rest of the team performs well. But the offense isn't being schemed around him. Anywho, that's my 2 pence.
Yeah. I don't really have to say anything else other than what you said, Danny. I agree. I think with the scheme around him, I think he's doing the best with what he can. And there is a connection with the 2 kind of high draft picks that we took that are on that offense. Well, 3, sorry, because he's got a good connection with Pitts as well. So and Mooney's starting to look a little bit sharper. I don't have any concerns about him. Like, if anything, he kept us competitive in that game. And he's only going to get better. And I mean, he doesn't. I can only really think of one, absolutely horrendous game that he's had, which was Carolina. So, I'm not concerned.
Take that, Liam, Cal.
Same. I think there's, he might not have set it alight that many times, but like he's been, apart from the one sort of game, he's been solid enough throughout and shown plenty of arm talent and some solid decision making. So like, you'd expect him, obviously, like if you class this as his first season, you'd expect him in his second season when he sort of progresses again that he's going to be a very, very good quarterback. We just need to be consistent around him. Sort of, the play call wins. Obviously, we're doing a lot of. We're getting yards. Like the passing game looks good in a sense of the numbers a lot, but a lot of it is about playmaking of wide receivers. Like a lot of Drake London, just genuinely beating people in the air. Like how much of it is actually creative play calling that Penix can actually, potentially could be unlocked even further if we have somebody who can allow him to do that and use the weapons that we've got, like especially players like Pitts, if we can get obviously the best out of him and Bijan in the passing game as well.
Yeah,
he's shown to me that he's accurate. He's got a good arm, makes good decisions. I do think he could do a little bit more with his legs sometimes. I think he just will hesitate a little bit too long to run those like 5 yard gains. I think they're a little bit more than he takes them. But at the same time, like that's not if that's kind of the main negative. It's not it's not the worst thing in the world. So it's going in the right direction for me with Penix.
Assuming that he doesn't get stuck with an offensive coordinator for a large part of his career that stops that progression and changes his trajectory, because he can only perform to a certain level if the scheme doesn't cater to what he needs. Like, he's performing pretty well for me, but your ceiling is a hell of a lot lower when people aren't catering to you.
I mean, look at Bo Nix.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
And I think Michael Penix is more talented than Bo Nix. So
I don't think that's an audacious call at all.
And look, it's an opinion, right? But you can see how comfortable Bo Nix looks in that scheme. He knows it is a balanced offense.
Yeah.
And you'd argue that he has nowhere near the amount of young talent that Penix has got around him.
Yeah.
So, but yes, you can. I mean, Denver are flying, because they're well coached, and I hate throwing that absolute horrendous human being compliments, as we well know, but he's a good coach. And and one thing that you would always say about Sean Payton is he never makes excuses.
No,
unlike somebody.
I don't know who you're talking about, pal. I really don't. Just one for the comments.
Sorry, Danny. I'll just finish that by saying, have you ever heard from Sean Payton? We out Denvered ourselves.
Not yet.
Someone posted today, I think it was Rise Up Reader, and they said, I can't wait for Raheem to say we got out Atlanted for the third week running or something along those lines. And I thought, I can't do it anymore. I even replied saying that you head fell off over it. Head wobble. Just a bit of a talking point from the comments. So this is from Jimmy Puddle Duck. What a name, my friend. I don't think I've seen your name before. So firstly, thank you very much for watching. Penix needs a better O-line to give him time to develop and ability to read the game. What are our thoughts on that?
For the 13th.
Better O-line, so, like in some capacity. Like, everybody's got some weaknesses usually in their O-line, but ours isn't bad at all. I don't think. I mean, yes, I think it's built more for the run game because that's our strength, which makes sense. But like in pass protection, I think we're pretty solid all round with a couple of guys. Obviously, if you sort of think our centre and right tackle are pretty makeshift at the best, and like the guys that we wouldn't probably want to start.
Yeah.
So that's two key positions of the O line, which are we know are sort of maybe below the standard that we want, but still as a unit, I don't think he's not getting sacked like all the time. Like Drake May, for example, was he's like the second or first most sacked quarterback in the league. I think second after like Cam Ward or something. Like the week sacked him another 6 times, but he's getting absolutely. But they're winning games. Like the Patriots are winning games, so our O-line's performing better than them. We're not winning games, so like it's not. We can't just say that it's a like thing. To it.
According to Pro Football Network, this is very interesting because there's an O-line coming up on Fraud Watch tonight, guys. We have the 13th best O-line in the league, and because there is an interesting stat in here. Best ranked O-lineman on the Atlanta Falcons. First overall and first in his position group is Ryan Newsill.
Do you know what? I'll eat my words there.
I've got another shock for you.
Go on.
Worst ranked O lineman for the Atlanta Falcons. 67th overall, 24th in his position. Left tackle, Jake Matthews.
Yeah. I mean, I'll give him a tiny bit of leeway in the fact that he played injured for 2 games, so he might still be carrying. But if you're on the field, pal, for the team, then you know what your job is, don't you?
Well, listen, I mean, he's he's always been consistent, and we don't get emotional about many players, because we know that eventually, this is the way the sport goes. People move on, and some players regress, and especially with age, that I can attest to it myself. That position is a horrible position, especially on the knees and ankles. I just thought it was an interesting stat, and 13th isn't 13th isn't amazing. I mean, 14th is the Dolphins, and their quarterback, currently, but I think he believes he lives on Mars at the moment. So I'm not saying that stats mean everything, but I would question whether, apart from like in and around that sort of area where we are, just next to us is the Detroit Lions. So our O-line grade is 75.5, Lions 75.7. Colts in 11th to 76.8, Rams 77.1. So it's like you don't associate those teams to have bad O-line. I
No.
just think because the conversation is all built around Penix, people just assume, oh well, the O-line must be bad. Our O-line is not bad. It could be better with some personnel without injuries, but everyone's got injuries at the minute. So thanks for the comment, but I don't agree.
Thank you for that, Jimmy, and apologies. I do know your name from X, but I've not seen Puddle Duck before, so thanks you very
Jimmy.
much. Kevin Knight, penalties have hit him hard in reference to what we were just discussing then. So, yeah, flags and penalties have been a major issue in the last, historically, but definitely in
I
the
assume
last
he's talking about
handful of games.
Matthews because there was another couple this week, wasn't there?
Yeah, absolutely.
Must have been getting confused with that clap.
Right. Let's try and lighten the mood a little bit. I think we've talked a lot of negatives, and I understand because ultimately our playoff chances have significantly decreased, but there are some good takeaways. So first, I'm going to talk about one player in particular, and then I'm going to pass it over to Liam for Rookie Watch, because I believe that there's probably a fair showing of our rookies yesterday, or some of them anyway. So can we just start with Drake London, please? 3-touchdown game, the first 3-touchdown game on the road since Andre Rison in 1993, I think.
Nice.
1993. So that's a nice little takeaway. We put a little poll on Twitter, but I want to get all your takes on him first in terms of how he's performing and how you rate him as a Falcons player. Liam, I'll give it to you first, actually.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, he's in the years where you kind of expect your wide receiver to be sort of getting towards his prime, and that's pretty much what he's doing. He's playing, to the sort of style that he plays, like we said, didn't we all? Ever since he came through college and the type of player he is, he's basically a go up and get it sort of guy. Like he's not really got that speed, that pure wide receiver sort of speed that you want over the top. And we tried doing that with him a few times in the past, and it just didn't work. Like we just tried him in all these different routes, and he just looked uncomfortable out there, like in the way that we were trying to use him. Now we've realised that if he just runs upfield, turns his body, and you throw the ball at him.
It seems awfully basic, mate. I think
pretty good at beating corners to that ball, because he just physically dominates pretty much anybody out there. Like corners, maybe a little bit bigger than they used to be, but they're not like 6'4" and as physical as Drake London is.
No,
like, it will just beat them, and it's it's just something that we need to continue with, and it's very hard because as soon as you start putting double teams on in, obviously you start to unlock other people, so it's hard to do it. And I think there's not many corners out there that can stop him consistently in a 1v1, like if any. And we showing that he's like a very reliable. I think I can't remember if it was last season or the season before, but he had some drops, didn't he? Some like big key drops that we were about on the pod, and we said like he's struggling a little bit with his hands and holding the ball and a couple of fumbles. Not really seeing any of that anymore.
No.
He looks very solid in the way that he's catching the ball, and obviously some of these catches are would be if he did drop the ball, like it wouldn't be a negative on him because they're really tough catches to make, but he's making them.
Yeah.
And that's what the best receivers in the league do. When you look at all the best ones out there, they're the ones that pretty much all of them can, most of them can make a catch when you throw them the ball in space, like whatever. But like when there's those catches where it's like a 50-50, or even like you'd expect the corner to beat you to it, they're the best receivers in the league. I can just get you those yards. So I'm doing it a little bit more than anybody else, and he's one of those guys now, and he's right up there in the top of that receiver position. Like he's in. I don't know where I'd place him, but he's definitely up there.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Sorry, just going to jump in the comments a sec because Ben has been very persistent on something, and I do want to give it a little bit of airtime. We need to talk about Drake London's manslaughter charge on Gonzalo. It's after that one.
I mean, it's very, very interesting because my point was going to be around. Liam just said, big guy. For me, wide receiver one, arguably one of the top 10 in the Premier League, in the NFL. I'll fight anybody on it. I think he's cleaned up his game. He's now being fed by a quarterback that suits him. I think that's really important. And he was up against, arguably, for me, one of the best corners in the NFL this weekend. Christian Gonzalez is brilliant. I don't know whether you remember, but I was screaming for him. It might have been the year that we drafted Drake. Actually, if I can't remember if it was the year before. Yeah, it might have been. But Christian Gonzalez is a hell of a corner, and I actually thought that for the most part, when he wasn't against London, Gonzalez had a really, really good game against us. So I think it's a great point to make because I think London solidified for me his receiver one position on this team, and long may it continue. Obviously, he's got to stay healthy, right? And a big guy like that playing in the position that he's playing is going to be, is going to be rough. It's going to take some work to make sure that he stays healthy over an 18-game season. But yeah, love him, and I don't think his input to this team can be underplayed.
Absolutely. I'm going to pose a question to you all then. I'll start with Cal because you love a poll just as much as I do on Twitter. So I put one out there saying, where does Drake London rank all time amongst Falcons wide receivers? Ooh. I didn't drop any lower than top 10 because I thought it'd be blasphemous. Obviously, my Falcons history is obviously quite shallow compared to some, so maybe there would be exceptions outside of that top 10. My basis was working on the big names like Julio Jones and Roddy White and Mathis and Rison and people like that we've spoke about. So, Cal, where would you put him? Of course, we're fans from a similar time, the same time period, so we might have slightly different views to Mark and Liam. That's why I'm coming to you.
You could go back to even Ridley in them couple of years when we started spotting him was very good, and then he got injured and sort of dropped off. London's been. I think the one good thing about London is many things. But he's had 3 quarterbacks already. I think, or 4 maybe, 3 or 4.
Probably
so
Yeah.
What he's done in the 3 or 4 years, is it 3? Is this his 3rd season or is it 4th season?
No,
Third
four.
season.
Yeah.
Is it fourth? Is
So
it?
he's been here 4 years, and what he's done under 4 different quarterbacks basically is pretty unbelievable. Because you look back at all these other top wide receivers. Obviously, Julio Jones had Matt Ryan for all his career. Matt Ryan's one of the best quarterbacks. Well, still is the best quarterback for the Falcons ever for me, anyway. So a lot of these top wide receivers that we've had over the last 20, 30, 40 years, it looks like there's always been quite consistent of a quarterback. For a guy to come in and have 4 different quarterbacks in 4 different years and perform like he's doing,
Yeah.
and like what Liam said, he's only just getting into his prime. Like, he's just going to get better and better. And with the way we're using him, which is what we've started using him now, he's just going to get better. So it's very hard to put where he is because he's only like a 4th year in. But if you asked me this question in over 18 months' time and he's got this season and next season, you could say he's probably top 10 without a doubt with the start of his career and the quarterbacks he's had, etc. So very tough one to just be like top 10 straight away to 4 years, but his potential could be top 3, top 2.
I mean,
if you keep going
we're not the most winningest of franchises, are we? So you've not always got that stiff competition. Sorry, just JK in the comments saying Brian Finneran's on that list as well. We love Brian. We've met him a few times before, and he's been on the pod as well. So we've got to put that name in the hat there, of course.
Yeah.
Mark and Liam, do you want to give your verdicts on how you think he falls all time? London, this is not Brian Finneran, sorry.
Yeah, I mean, for me, from what I've seen so far and his trajectory getting better season after season, I would say I would probably agree with Carl. I would say he makes top 10 for me. I think I think he's got a. I mean, we've got to pay him first, lads. That because that will be coming. But like, I guess if you kind of break it down, is he top 5 yet? No, I would say just off the top of my head, Julio, Roddy, someone who you mentioned earlier on, Ryzen, Mathis, Brian Finneran as well is probably in there, Michael Haynes. So you're already kind of heading towards number 10. I think that he has the potential to get into that top 5, for sure. And I hope to see him do it. I really, really do. I don't think he's there yet. I don't think anybody's, bar Chase at the Bengals, maybe Jefferson at the Vikings. You're not going to have rookie receivers coming in on their rookie deal and automatically being, top 10 of all time. But I certainly think for me, probably because we haven't been the most winningest franchise over our history. And there's going to be arguments, right? Like people will probably go, well, Sanu should be in the top 10. People might go, Calvin Ridley, might be in thereabouts. But, I think that almost disrespects some of the receivers that came before them. And I think Drake needs to really earn that because I want Drake to be in that top 5 conversation. Do I think he's there yet? No, I don't. But I do think that there's definitely a conversation that says he's potentially in the top 10.
I'll take that. Liam, any advances?
I mean, it depends what sort of angle you come at it from. Like when you look at obviously the numbers, because he hasn't been in like our receivers for that long. Like it's hard to say, he's in the top 10 or whatever, because he obviously hasn't had the full length of his career yet. You kind of don't know what is going to happen. But if I was going to put him somewhere based on like ability, just purely as a best receiver can be versus how another guy in the past best receiver can be, I'll probably already put him in the top 10 because I can't think of that many receivers, like ability to ability, better than him. There will be some, but there's some guys that I would imagine are probably in our top 10 of like yards and touchdowns and stats. But if I compared them to how is, like Sidhu is a prime example of that. Like he had a good career and he was a great receiver and did a lot of good things. But I would say that Drake London's probably more talented than he is. So like it's one of them where he'd be more talented than Finneran, I would say. Like, I think that's like
I won't be clicking that. I won't be clicking that and put it on socials.
I won't just automatically say he's because he's not had the full time yet. I can't say he's better than than certain people, but like there's not that many in that I can think of. Like obviously, like Tony Gonzalez, I know he's a tight end. If you could class him as a receiver type of player, then he's another elite one that we've had.
For sure.
And then like Julio Jones and Roddy White with standout talents that like way up there. So like outside of that, there's not that many guys that we've had in the past that you look at and go, they're elite level talent. They've been very good receivers for us.
Liam,
but
to your point, and this will give you a laugh. So I just found a website that kind of rated the top 20 Falcons receivers of all time.
Interesting.
And I'm guessing this might have been a little bit of an older article. I know that because Drake's not in it, but somehow, Taylor Gabriel is in there. And hang on, it gets better. Supposedly, according to this website, and I don't trust it for a second, but I thought it was funny. Russell Gage is 20th.
Russell Gage.
Yeah. So I think Liam's spot on there that actually we probably haven't got a big pool of people outside that top 10 that you'd consider kind of elite talent. So you would kind of hope that Drake should definitely be in that conversation.
Yeah. Based on that, very mumuch so. No disrespect to either of those. Both serviceable wide receivers, and obviously some great players in there, but talent, different level.
But you wouldn't. I mean, if they consider themselves in the top 20 Falcons receivers of all time, like I don't think I'm insulting those guys by laughing at that.
No.
But they are free to come into my DMs and have an argument if they want to.
They're free to come on the show and debate it out, please. Okay.
I'm going to need subtitles if they come on the show with me.
What I'll do then, before we move on to Rookie Watch, I know this show is longer, so again, if anybody has to go, please just let me know and jump off. But there's a bit of a recency bias here, I think, from the heart. So 19% of people said that Drake London falls within the top 10 wide receivers of all time for the Atlanta Falcons already. 48% said he falls in the top 5.
Oof. Okay.
28% said he falls in the top 3, which is bonkers. And 5% of people, which based on the numbers we have at this present moment, is about 30 people. 5% said he is the top wide receiver the Falcons have ever had. I can only assume these people were drinking copious amounts of alcohol, or the rival fans just having some crack, because this wasn't last night. This poll was this morning. So there was no impulse voting.
I think if you just watch the Falcons lose again, you could probably still be drunk at that time in the morning.
I think there's a part of it, right? Like, me and Liam have obviously supported this franchise for a little bit longer, but we're also kind of like, I'm not saying that you guys aren't, but me and Liam are probably the kind of people that will go back and watch games from like the 90s and stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? Like this is, and I appreciate that. Like there are some fans out there that probably like might not have watched Julio in a Falcons uniform. They might have started watching when Julio was playing for the Titans, or or whatever, and where he was awful, ironically, So it's like people might not get the impact that he had in the game. People like even some of the younger fans might not have ever heard of Andre Rison or Roddy White and stuff like
Yeah.
that. But these are people who were integral to the franchise long before we picked it up over the pond.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
I get it, and you're right. It might be people taking the mick, right? But I think it's as soon as you said that, I was like, oh no, he's going to say top one, isn't he? So
Absolutely. I thought it was a little bit of fun and games. Thought it'd be nice to put it out there.
Yeah.
And I mean, the lockdown hobby of card collecting, Atlanta Falcons cards, has done wonders for my history of wide receivers, to be fair, because they were the ones that I wanted because they're the most exciting ones and the cards look the nicest. Anywho, moving on to rookie.
I've got an Andre Rison jersey.
Nice.
Like I try to get it graded, and it is a like a friend of mine picked it up at a vintage fair for me, and it's a proper training jersey. So I don't think it's authentic, but like I think it was like as authentic as it didn't belong to him, but I think like it was a replica of their training jerseys, but like sort of way back when.
That's cool though, because stuff like that doesn't get printed all too much, especially nowadays. So
the numbers are painted.
Nice.
I'll have to send you a picture. But yeah,
cool.
Yeah, I think. Anyway, moving on. Sorry.
No, don't you worry. Carl, thank you for watching. We've gone over it a little bit, so no doubt you'll have caught it anyway. But I agree, Penix is not the problem. Short and sweet. As we said, we've got some positives to discuss. On second, Thomas, sorry, he's just clocked the poll. Some of these people on that poll clearly never saw Julio put up 300 yards on the Panthers. Facts. Also, when a wide receiver has a defensive tackle montage, you've got a player. You've got a player. Some of those were hits.
They were
filthy stuff. Anyway, long awaited. Rookie watch time. Our rookies were looking pretty sharp, but I'll let Liam tell the story. So I'm going to roll the clip, and then the floor is Liam's.
He's on his happy chair.
Happy throne.
Throne. There's nothing better than the throne. Yeah, I mean, as Danny said, we had a pretty good showing this week overall. I think you probably could guess sort of the players that deserve a bit of a special mention. In the likes of actually Xavier Watts was a very good, highly rated rookie this week, and obviously Jalen Walker was another one who had 2 sacks. Great to see him in the pass rush and being effective. As we mentioned earlier, he's been in and out of it as they look kind of like in the way that we've used him, and I'd say I haven't got the percentages, but we've used him probably like quite a lot more in like coverage and like side to side or lateral movement sort of stuff rather than pure pass rush. So maybe that will start to change with this. We've seen getting 2 sacks in one game, and it was utilising a little bit more in that front. We did sort of say that, like, obviously, players like James Pierce Jr. are going to rush, almost 100% of the time.
Yeah,
and having somebody like Walker also do it like on those blitzes is going to be very effective because you can't block them all with top players. So it is we got 6 sacks overall, and obviously he contributed 2 of those as well as many other things within the game. So he was great, and I think Xavier Watts looked very good for most of the game as well. I think he's been a one for me that I think is possibly it'd be interesting to know what you guys think, but possibly our most consistent and best rookie so far this season. That's probably I would be picking. I think if you ask me at this stage of the season who's been the best, I'd probably say Watts. But everybody, like I said last week, has been pretty solid, and it's been another good week. Some of our standout players this week were rookies. They weren't sat in the middle. They weren't mid. Nobody was mid this week.
No,
they were up there, and it was good to see.
Even
and
PS Junior got a fumble recovery as well, didn't he?
he did, yeah, he did. Which again, like, is just they're showing that they can be effective in big moments, and I think that's it's good signs for us. I think the one player I want to give a shout out to. He's not a rookie, but I just have to put him in anyway somewhere because he's a rookie to us because he never really plays the game for us, and I did not know who he was. But Sam Roberts has been amazing. Like, honestly, he's like, when you look at his grades, he's been
free agent, wasn't he?
Like, he's been at the top like of our defensive grades, like 3 weeks out of the 4 that he's played or something like that. Like, he graded like 82 this week and like in the 70s like 3 weeks prior as well. Like, who is this guy?
He came from the Panthers as well, I believe.
He just appeared and then he started playing, and then he's just been like, he's been awesome for us.
I was hoping you were going to give a tip of the hat. I know he's not technically a rookie, but I thought Brandon Dawlis was going to get his
flowers. Brandon Dawlis is, yeah. It's not going to be JD Bertrand anyway at the moment. Brandon Dawlis is.
Let's not play that game again.
No. Yeah, Brandon Dawlis absolutely deserves it. If he got, did he get two sacks?
Got 2. Yeah,
he got 2 sacks. 3 players got 2 sacks, didn't they? Because Kyle London got 2, Walker got 2, and then Dawlis got 2. Which is great. It's great to see players like Dawlis and London doing those types of things.
My big boys in the trenches.
Yeah, they're being really effective. And obviously, like I just said, you can't. You've got guys coming from the edge. It opens up guys in the middle, and vice versa. Like, there's only like Marco. There's only so much you can sort of stretch an O-line to cover these guys. Like, you kind of have to be weak somewhere, and you've got to pick where you're going to be weak. So that's what we're exposing at the minute. We're exposing it with numbers of good players rather than like, we haven't got like a Myles Garrett that the Browns have got, where they haven't really got that many other players. Obviously, I've got some players, but he's the type of player where it kind of doesn't matter who you put on him, what you do, like, he's going to be effective. We haven't really got that yet, so we're putting up multiple talented guys to like overstretch an O-line, and our rookies are a big part of that. So it's great to see. I think we might have got a pass rush. I don't want to go too crazy, but the Falcons might have players who are capable of rushing the quarterback.
And by the way, just probably worth just mentioning at this point, like, Patriots haven't got like the best O-line in the NFL, but they're 16th, so they're pretty much middle of the pack. Yeah. So like, 6 sacks against middle of the pack O-line. That's okay. That's a good return, especially for such a young unit.
Yeah. And I fear I may be talking too soon. But does anyone have everyone's sack counts yet? Because we did have a little discussion pre-season about who we thought, if anyone, was going to hit 10 sacks, and there must be some people on course at least, because it's not been a bad season for sacks by Falcons standards.
No. I think I don't think it doesn't really feel like anyone's been like stand out. Like, I think Zach Harrison probably felt more standout just because like expectations were so low. I don't know if Braylon Trice exists anymore. I'm not sure.
No,
I see. Yeah, AI. But yeah, I think I see. But we said this last year. Like, our problem wasn't necessarily the personnel; it was the pressure that was being sent. Pressure is being sent, boys. You know what I mean? And we've got players that are able to turn that pressure into something. So I might be wrong, but like, I don't think anybody stand out to me as like sack leader. And if they are, if anybody, I'd probably put my money on Doris.
I've got it up now. I was actually waffling, and the spread is pretty insane, to be fair. So you've got Dawlis 3.5, Zach Harrison 3.5, Jalen Walker 3, London 2, Alford 2, Ellis 1.5, Floyd 1.5, Row 1.5, Onyemata 1, Roberts 1, and then some 0.5s, Diablo, Bowman, and Pierce
Cool.
Jr. So it's a nice
that
split.
is a hella
It's
spread.
improvement.
Yeah.
Nice. Lovely stuff. Liam, back to you, or
I mean, I have got a player that I've been trying to sort of fill out the roster, and I kind of waited a little bit because there was limited options in this position. But I'm finally I'm going to take my quarterback.
oh,
Oh,
a rookie watch quarterback.
Yeah, and I think he's earned it with the sort of.
but it ain't going to be Jaden Daniels.
Well,
No, I don't think it might ever
Oh,
be.
he's not rookie, is it? No, mate. Yeah. Go on then, Liam. Who is it?
I'm going to give it to Jackson Dart because
The boy.
He's been through some
Yes.
tough times with his injuries on his receiver group, the O
That's
line,
his- that's his
the
guy.
running backs, and he obviously only came in 3 or 4 games, whatever it is, into the season anyway. And he kind of got thrown in the deep end. And whilst he's had some wobbles, overall he's been very solid and looks very capable. And he didn't really come with a massive reputation either. So
No.
he's performed very well and very consistently. He looks like a very smart quarterback. He looks really intelligent out there. And he had another good week this week, and he's had more good weeks than he's had bad for sure. So he's kind of having a surprise package, and I'm sure the Giants are probably thinking, actually, I saw a lot of comments out there when they drafted him that he wasn't really the guy for the future, and he was just kind of a bit of a desperate pick and that sort of stuff. But I feel they'll change their mind.
I love that.
They could have got somebody who can definitely take them forward in a position that they've needed for some time. So. I think he's done a good job, and I think it'll be well. Obviously I like this Cam Ward and stuff like that, and I kind of don't want to go against what I don't think he's doing badly at all, but he just plays for an absolute dumpster of a team.
Yeah,
so it's kind of hard to evaluate him. Yeah, so I don't want to say that Cam Ward's a the bust or anything like that. Definitely not saying that, but Jackson Dart has been very good.
And I'm going to surprise you with the stats, Liam, because obviously O-line is my theme of the week. Jackson Dart is behind a worse O-line than Cam Ward.
Ooh,
interesting.
That is interesting. The eye test would not have told me that.
Yeah.
Nice.
New York Giants O-line are 23rd in the NFL.
Wow.
And Tennessee Titans are 15th.
Interesting. Hasn't Cam Ward, is that overall with running, is that? I don't know. In fact, Cam Ward's been sacked about 1 million times, but I don't really know how it grades it.
Can only go with the numbers that I have.
Yeah.
Google said so. Stunning, Liam. Thank you very much. Electrify, thank you again for watching. Just on the back of Liam's comments, despite the loss, I'm still impressed by our rookies this week. Some inexperience still showing, but that is to be expected. Absolutely. I'm going to run the VT, and Mark, I'm going to run yours straight after it. I do realise for the audio listeners, these VTs are useless, so I am going to add sound to them upon my return from holiday.
I'll do it for you.
Right, one sec. Let me run Liam's and then I'll run yours and you can do it.
Rookie watch!
And that one. Your band should do all of our intro and vocals.
No, we should.
So we don't keep getting a copyright infringement that's completely allowed, might I add, because I've sourced this. Anyway, we're about to hit Fraud Watch. Mark, the floor is yours.
It's time for Fraud Watch. Right, as you know, I am extremely passionate about big boys in the trenches. That sounded awful, didn't it? And we've got a defensive unit now on Fraud Watch. We've got some coordinators. We've got 2 receivers. We've got a running back. We've got a quarterback. But who are those guys got up front? So I decided to look into, and it's been very, very interesting this week. I think, as very pertinent to some of our conversations about what quarterbacks are behind what O-lines. And I found some things out that were very interesting, gentlemen. Now, two contenders for the O-line of Broad Watch Crotch Pheasants this week were tied in 28th in the league, and it is astounding. You are not going to believe who are tied for 28th O-line in the league. First of all, we have the Green Bay Packers
Oh,
Wow.
as the 28th O-line. Best ranked is Eldon Jenkins, 24th in his position, 75th overall. Worst ranked is Aaron Banks, 157th overall, 63rd in his position group. We also had the Philadelphia Eagles tied for 28th worst O-line of the NFL. Best ranked Jordan Maleta, 13th overall, 6th in his position, but the worst ranked Landon Dickerson, 98th overall and 35th in his position group. But I digress, ladies and gentlemen, because those two teams are not the O-line of Pro Watch, and this does give me a little bit of personal satisfaction because I have seen, some lovely, isn't he such a good quarterback? And let's ignore the fact that he keeps getting all of his wide receivers really bad injuries. And maybe this has something to do with it. Maybe this is why Baker Mayfield needs to get the ball out of his hands so quick, because in 31st position in the NFL of an O-line grade of 59.2, 31st in the NFL, Tampa Bay Buccaneers O-line, you are now officially on Fraud Watch.
wow.
Best ranked O-lineman Tristan Wirfs, 14th in his position, 32nd overall. Worst ranked O-lineman Charlie Heck, 164th overall and 65th in his position group.
God.
So maybe that lends some outlook into why Baker Mayfield keeps putting his wide receivers in such ridiculous positions and constantly on the injury bench. A lot that can be said for the big boys up front, and Tampa Bay now have their whole entire O-line on front.
That is colossal, like genuinely colossal. And again, the eye test would never say that because Mayfield is playing so well that he's papered those cracks to a point where, unless you're watching the books week in, week out, you could never have hazarded a guess of something like that.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And the the only worst team from an O-line point of view is the Cleveland Browns. But the Bucs have a worse O-line than the Saints.
Wow.
Good God.
The Saints are next in 30th, but with a 3-point swing in grade. So very, very, very interesting.
Fair enough.
And I think to your point, Danny, it is almost testament to how well Baker is playing at the moment.
Yeah.
Baker's in danger, which you never know might save our playoff hopes. But we've now got an O-line on Fraud Watch, and that roster is shaping up quite horrifically. I think, unfortunately, next week we're going to have to induct a QB too, because ironically, the QB1 of Fraud Watch is out for the foreseeable future. But it's all right, because the Vikings are probably better off without JJ McCarthy, but never mind. So that has been Fraud Watch.
Roll the clip.
That's been Fraud Watch.
That was beautiful. That's a shock to the system, that. I'm going to have to get your rosters down on paper and map them out. I know you'll be doing it yourselves anyway, but I'll do a little edit of it, and then we can face them off come the end of the season. I'm going to be inclined to believe that even though most of yours are vets, that Liam's is going to win a one-off game.
Absolutely.
We shall see. remains to be seen. Right, before we wrap it up for the night, we like to do a little whip around of the rest of the league in case anyone's got any talking points. We touched on one. Daniel's arm was sent into oblivion, unfortunately. Would not wish that on anyone. Those videos are extremely graphic, might I add, if anyone's had the displeasure of seeing those. Landman got the perfect little punch out, perfect little peanut punch for the Rams against Kamara, which was stunning. The Green Bay Packers bottled it. Does anyone want to pick a game and make a comment?
They bottled it in the worst uniforms potentially in NFL history. It's been a bad week. R.I.P. Jaden Daniels. I did, predict a bit of regression on his part, because I thought he'd get figured out, and it kind of felt like he has been this season. But that's a really tough injury for any quarterback and for any player. So just wanted to, but there's been so many injuries this year. It feels like more than usual. Like Joe Alt is now out for the season for the Chargers. It's like there's just season-ending injuries like everywhere. And I know it's part of the game, but it's not good for the game. So like one of the biggest sort of noticeable things for me was just it's just more injuries stacking up like sort of week after week at this point. The one takeaway from the league that I wanted to mention that I thought was quite funny was the Bengals, who are a shambles. We know that, right? But I don't know whether you've seen it. I think it was Jamar Chase and I think it was Higgins as well. Jamar Chase was videoed in the tunnel just cussing out the defense, like just I think it was like just make one damn stop. I think that was his words, and then Higgins in the locker room afterwards was like, "We got to play complimentary football." And the offense are doing their job, and then he just sort of like put a full stop on it, and then that was it. Like everybody against the coaching staff is one thing, but like a unit actively cussing out another unit, like that is, I mean, I used to spend preseason with like doing scrimmage games against other defensive ends, and some would injure me and make my life a nightmare, but I still loved them because they were my teammates. Do you know what I mean? And to be in that position where your wide receiver 1 and 2 are just in front of the mic, just facing up, going, "Our defense are trash," is just it's not a good look, is it? So
it's valid.
It's valid. Oh, 100%. I mean, I'm not saying it isn't valid. Like I just think like doing it in front of the cameras, like I said this a few weeks ago about the Cardinals head coach cussing out the running back who made the big mistake. Like I just don't feel like you do that on the field. Like I don't feel you do that in the that's what the locker room's for. So yeah, Bengals meltdown. Everybody hates each other. Quite funny. Lol.
I mean, they threw what was it? They both went over. They must be just instant for sure. They both. It was Higgins and Chase, wasn't it? So they both.
Yeah.
They both went over 100 yards in the game. Joe Flacco threw for 470 yards and lost.
Oh, we shouldn't laugh. We shouldn't laugh at other people.
He threw 470 yards and 4 touchdowns, and he lost.
It's
didn't
insane.
get an onside kick as well.
Did they?
Right,
I didn't like that.
kick. I'm pretty sure. So they got the onside kick. So even the
They did.
I've done everything. It's just the defense.
Yeah, they literally got the onside kick, got the score, and then there was hardly any time in the game left, they still blew it.
Just sorry, Danny. Just what I remember as well. I just want to give a shout out to one of my guys, big Sam Darnold.
Yeah,
Oh,
I was gonna say,
yeah.
it was awesome.
Sterling game. Played absolutely brilliantly. I think it was something wild. Like I think he went like 9. It was like he'd thrown 3 touchdowns before he threw an incompletion or something like that. It was like a
Yeah, he
mad
did.
stat for this weekend.
He went
And you,
17 or something like that. He beat
yeah,
his first whatever amount of passes or whatever it was, like something ridiculous.
and like we've seen kind of quarterback sort of redemption arcs over the years.
Yeah.
And we will continue to see it, but like after how horrendous of a start he had to his NFL career, and then he looked like he was just going to be a backup for a little while. Love to see it.
Definitely.
Can't knock that one. Cal, have you got any games you want to touch on or any talking points or anything?
No, I want to just the Packers obviously surprising loss. Agree with Mark. The uniforms are the worst thing I've ever seen in my life. Absolutely disgusting. The Colts getting beat. Fair play to the Steelers. I think
Yeah.
they're going quite quietly, but looking quite strong. Obviously, Daniel Jones had a very poor game, and I hope he has another poor game next week, and then he can get back on form. But knowing him, he'll end up throwing 5 touchdowns. So
Yeah, but then it will throw for 6. So
I know. Chiefs and the Bills. Obviously, another close game between them lot. It's like the Bills have the Chiefs number in the regular season, but then the Chiefs have the Bills number in the playoff parts. So we'll see how that comes about. And then the Lions getting beat as well. It's just I don't know. It's just a mad league.
Wild.
Like I can't
I
put
was
a number 1 team on each side at the moment. It's like it's changing every single week,
yeah.
which is I wouldn't say as a neutral, but kind of as a neutral if our season's over and next week. It's quite exciting for the league. It's not just that one team battering it, so it's a good look for the league. To be fair, I think it's quite exciting.
Yeah.
It's not a good look for Fraud Watch though, because I just realised because I haven't watched it that actually it was JJ McCarthy that played in that game that beat the Lions. So and as I've said all the way through Fraud Watch, I'm happy to eat humble pie, but you're only 4-4 for Vikings fans, so don't come for me just yet. Really, really, I forgot about that result. And the Bills beat the Chiefs.
Yeah.
So technically, we're better than the Chiefs. I don't care what anybody says. So,
Facts.
To be fair, didn't we beat the Vikings as well? So that we're better than the Lions as well.
Yeah.
By proxy, that's exactly right. Yeah. I mean, if anything, if we fired the coach, and just put me and Liam in, then we're winning it all, boys. So
We're going all the way.
if we could beat the Bills, and the Vikings with Raheem, imagine what we could do with me and Liam.
I'm all for it. I'll start a petition if you want one, boys. Don't you worry. Don't you worry. Liam, any extra games to add or anything before we wrap up for the evening?
No, I just don't know who really is I don't really know he's a good the Seahawks look good and even the Jags keep winning games and obviously the Broncos are wild but winning games, but I still don't trust any of them.
Yeah.
So
I completely feel you on that, Liam. I still don't look at many teams and go, you are absolutely not going to screw this up.
Yeah, I agree. So great as a NFL fan in general. I wish we were one of these teams. But yeah, we're not.
We're not.
No.
In fact, I did have one extra point. Some little
We didn't.
More than our kicker.
Yeah.
That was exactly going to be my point. Some little turd in the league booted the ball for 68 yards.
Oh yes, he did.
NFL record.
Jags kicker, wasn't it?
Yes,
what a clean kick it was. It probably had a couple more in it as well.
It was good from 70. That.
Yeah,
and then he literally he like about 5 minutes later, he scraped the post from about 28 or something.
Oh God,
So stupid.
we can only dream of times like that. We can only dream of it. But stunning. I'm gonna call it a night on the show. We will be back next week. The boys over this side of the screen are heading over to Berlin for the Falcons v Colts match. So we're going to send all of the luck with them because
It was the other side.
boy, we need it. Yeah.
We're not watching the game, by the way.
Selling your tickets on the gate and then going to a pub instead.
I don't think anyone's going to buy them tickets.
No, maybe Colts fans.
Yeah.
But failing a good game of football, it might happen yet. Weirder things have happened. Have a sensational time, boys.
Enjoy, chaps.
Enjoy. It's well deserved. I'm sorry I cannot be there. I will be going to the next one because the Falcons will be back in Germany, no doubt, with a commercial deal. But thank you to every single person that has watched tonight. Tonight has been a season career high show for us. 350 people, give or take, have tuned in at some point tonight. So whether you jumped in for a minute or you've stuck with us throughout on YouTube and everything, thank you very much. Your support means wonders. It's actually just jumped over 350 right now, so that's sensational.
Whoever you are.
Yeah, whoever you are.
The extra person.
Yeah, there we go. But no, thank you all very much. It's been a pleasure as always. I'm sorry that we're not coming with more entertaining results to discuss, but group therapy is what we like to call it, and that's what we're sticking to for the time being. Mark, where can they catch us?
Well, you can catch us all over social media, on all of the main platforms. We are also available in audio version, and you can find us on all podcasting platforms. I don't know whether my mic's going to go out, but I'm going to do it again and try it again until it works. You can catch us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Yes,
Did
it
it
worked.
It didn't cut out.
Yes.
You got that one.
It didn't cut out. You just love to see it. You love to see it.
Happy days.
Thank you very much, ladies and gents. It has been a pleasure. We will catch you next week, hopefully following a win in Berlin. But if not, you know where the group therapy takes place. See you next time.